So there's been a lot of people harping on and griping about how terrible our defense still is. And rightfully so. And I'm not here to make excuses, but there's something I want to point out. Okay? Because on the surface layer, if you only look at it in a real simple aspect, then yeah, it's not been great. But I want to talk about defensive snap counts. And they are extremely high these last few weeks. Why do I bring that up? Because the more snaps you play per game, the more tired and exhausted you're going to be, which is going to make it way harder as a group or a unit to make collective stops on a regular basis. Okay, it's simple. Especially this early in the season, guys' cardio is just barely getting to where it should be. In fact, with all these snap counts as high as they have been, you would think they're getting pretty close. The extra day of rest this week should actually help. Against Jacksonville, they played 76 snaps, and that's just on defense. They played 42 in the first half alone. So 76 snaps total. Then the very next week, against Houston, they played 57. Okay? Then against Cleveland, they played 67. That's 200 snaps total in the last 3 games. That's essentially 4 to 4.5 games worth in only 3 games. So keep that in mind, because maybe allows you to think you're give them a little bit more leniency, because that is a lot. Now, that's not just only on the defense, because you could say, well, if they made more stops, they wouldn't play as much. It's also on the offense. If you are playing efficiently on both sides of a ball, as an entire team, okay, not just one side or the other. If you're playing efficiently and effectively, your defensive snap counts should be around 45 to 50, okay? It's an offense needs to help the defense, right? Like, the more they hold on to the ball and control the clock, the fresher your defense is going to be able to consistently make stops. All right? Now, the game has changed a little bit. It's evolved. It used to be 40 to 45 was pretty common as far as snap counts go on defense. But as player safety protocols come into effect, rule changes come into effect that favor offense, and the fact that, offenses are adopting these more pass-heavy type schemes, kind of spread offenses, it kind of, all those 3 things considered, it makes these snap counts a lot higher, which also makes it more important to have that quality depth on defense. Okay? You don't want a bunch of scrubs coming in and then wondering why your defense looked great on one drive and then trash on the next. You want quality guys to rotate in. Now, let's keep in mind, too, Jacksonville with James Robinson, Houston now as of this year with the rookie Dameon Pierce, and also Nick Chubb in Cleveland. Those are all great running backs. And stopping the run has been our weakness, okay? Nick Chubb does that to almost every defense he plays with. Let's not forget that. He does that to almost every defense. Now, I'm not making excuses. I'm not. I'm just saying that I think people should keep an eye on the defensive snap counts moving forward. Because if it continues at this rate, that it could spell big trouble down the stretch. Okay? Now, this is kind of a league-wide phenomenon now. It's not unique to just the Chargers. I was looking at the league-wide averages, and they're all pretty high, and I think it's because of those three factors I brought up. But it doesn't change the fact that, even though the game is evolving and changing, it doesn't necessarily mean guys' cardiovascular and endurance is changing. Now, you would think, like, oh, yes, the more they're playing, their cardio should continue to go up. But let's not forget, this is the NFL. Their bodies are taking a beating, right? Recovery rate is needed. If you're overworking yourself, your body's going to take longer to recover, okay? Having that extra day this week will for sure help. But this is something we need to take into consideration, okay? Super, super effective football, you want to be at I said 45 snaps. But I'll even be lenient with that because of all the changes in today's game and how it's evolved. I will say you want to be more around the snap count how they were in Houston. They played 57 snaps against Houston. So let's say 50 to 55 snaps. If you could average that, that means they're starting to play effectively. Something to keep an eye on, you guys. Something to also consider when you want to blow your lid and talk about how terrible defenses are, okay? I get tired and exhausted even looking at these snap counts. 76, oh my God, my legs hurt just thinking about that. All right. If you like these videos, if you found this informative at all, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. As I typically will try to put out more videos like this as the season progresses.